Hello everyone, this is just going to be a video going through the players document for the Castle Rock Clash to make sure all you who didn't read it know what's going on. So starting out, entry fee is $10. We'll get there at the bottom, but the first 16 people that signed up have their entry fee covered by Landon, who's sponsoring the event. And please see his information at the top of the document to get all his info. So again, the first 16 players won't have to pay that entry fee. If you're after that number, you'll have to pay that $10 entry fee. And that was just to get people to sign up quickly. And we actually didn't think we'd get many more than 16 players anyway, but that was wrong. So it's awesome that we have 21 players coming out, something like that. Timeline, store opens at 10. Please get checked in by 10:15 is the goal. We're going to start dice rolling at 10:30. The tables should all be set up except like one or two the night before by myself. And then we're going to be doing rounds that are going to be about an hour, 45 minutes. I'm going to be lenient. I don't like rounds going to time. So if there's 5 more minutes is going to let you finish the game, then I'm probably going to go overtime. We'll have a lunch break after round 2, and then we'll do round 3. And that's going to be the end for most players of the tournament. We're going to do 3 rounds, and the top 2 players will then get cut for the championship game, and the winner of that will be the winner of the tournament. So again, just to give a basic overview, we're going to check in at 10:15, dice roll at 10:30. So first round's going to start at 10:30, go to 12:15. We'll get I'm going to do 10-minute intervals in between each round. So next round will start at 12:25 and go to 2:10. Lunch will be from 2:10 to 2:40. Round 3 will then start at 2:40, go to 4:25. And then we'll do an award section. So essentially the plan is for the prize money to be split evenly. And then there'll be some trophies for the top places. And you'll see those when you show up at the tournament. And then the championship match will theoretically start at 5, so awards will be like 4:35 to 4:50, and then the championship match will be from 5 to 6:45. Again, that could get pushed back a little bit. I'm okay being lenient with running a little late, just because I like games to finish on time, or finish, not time, but finish in the actual game sense of finishing the game, rather than being cut off at the end. And I think this schedule, is pretty smooth, and we're only there for 6 hours. So yeah, it should be good. And then the championship match, those players will probably end up being there till 6:45, maybe 7, depending on how that we get pushed back. For the army list requirements, everyone should have submitted their list already. If you haven't, I'm probably messaging you right now. So 600 points, you just bring one list. You can message me through Discord or Facebook. If you have proxies, make sure the base size is correct and it needs to represent what it is. That's pretty self-explanatory. You don't have to have WYSIWYG. You just need to be able to determine what is what. So for example, let's say I'm taking a Riders of Rohan list and half of them have throwing spears and half of them don't. I could say, hey, these half have swords, so these 5 have swords. They have throwing spears. The 5 with bows don't have throwing spears. Easy. So they don't have to have the exact weapon, but they need to be distinguishable. Please check the FAQ regarding your list, because there's some points changes, like Iron Hills Ballista had a points increase, some changes like Kings of Men, Dwarf Kings, King models basically are buffed up from Heroes of Fortitude to Heroes of Valor. I'm not banning any models or Legendary Legions. Anything's good. And if you have any questions on proxies, models, blah, 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 just message me. The scenarios are preset. So it's going to be Domination, Fog of War, Destroy the Supplies, not necessarily in that order. And the championship round is going to be Hold Ground. Again, only 2 players are going to end up playing that match. So really, it's just going to be Domination, Fog of War, and Destroy the Supplies. I will have printouts of the scenarios at each table. So just like last game or last tournament, I'll have the printouts of the scenario at each table. For the kind of points breakdown, it's going to be Swiss scoring. So 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 for a loss. And the tiebreaker is going to be VP scored. So that just incentivizes you, like, if you're losing a game, there's no point in sitting back and just trying to turtle. It's all about, okay, I'm losing, but I want to score as many VPs as I can. And also, if you're winning, you don't have to worry too much about losing some VPs or like giving your opponent some VPs to score more VPs for yourself, because that's going to be the first tiebreak. After that, it will be VP differential. So again, it's going to be your Swiss rank. So win 3 points, draw 1 point, loss 0. Ties after that will be broken by number of VPs scored throughout the whole tournament. And if it's still tied, we'll go to differential. For prizes, we're going to have 3 different categories. So sportsmanship, painting, and then obviously the tournament rankings. So the first part we'll discuss is the painting, which should be pretty obvious. I'm going to leave it up to the players. So players can say, hey, I like this one painted model out of this army the best, and that's why I'm going to vote for this. That's fine. If you like the whole army is painted well, okay, there's another reason to vote for that. If they have a display board, you can take that into account or not. Same with like objective markers or whatever. We'll have some time at lunch and during the awards section where players will go around and vote. And again, it's up to the players to determine what criteria they want to use. But basically, the first place painted will get to choose from the selection of trophies first. And then we'll go to the sportsmanship. So whoever wins sportsmanship will get to choose second. And then there's some ways to increase your sportsmanship score outside of how you interact at the tournament. So painting and sportsmanship are all voted for by the players. But sportsmanship, if you bring a printed copy of your list, so this is just like a battle scribe thing where I have my list with all my heroes and stuff. So that's going to be half a point if you just have your list printed out so your opponent can write on it. So if your opponent can write on it, you need 3 copies, right? Because you're going to be playing 3 games. And then if you bring one that has like stats on it, so this one has all my stats, fight values, might, will, fate, trackers, that's going to get you a full point. So full list with information about your stats and the ability to write on it and track it will give you a full point. I think the best, well, one of the best ways to do it is the cards. So I made these cards, and you can see them in the Discord in the reference sheets. So this is just card sleeve. I can write on this with a wet erase or even a permanent marker and then just wipe it off with an alcohol wipe. So I can have it for myself and my opponent, and we can track might, will, fate, whatever throughout the game. So that's probably going to be the best way, or the GW cards. Let's see, I have some here. But there's various ways you can do it. So, boom. If we still end with a tie after all that for the sportsmanship, what I will likely be doing to break the tie is looking at the reference material people brought to the tournament, and whoever has the most, easiest to use for your opponent and the, easiest to read is going to probably get the tie break. So don't bring the battle scribe like 5-page document with all the rules. Like, keep it concise, but display the information. For spells, I think I'll show you like what I do for spells. You can do just kind of what the spell is in the range. So Gandalf there has his spells listed with ranges and what he needs to cast. And then your opponent, knows the name of the spell, can look them up and figure that out. You don't need to list like 10 pages of what all the spells do. All right, so that's sportsmanship. And then first and second place is first and second place. So that'll be determined at the end of 3 rounds. We will have a cut to the top 2, but we'll do all the awards basically at that time before the championship game. There will be 2 trophies left over, and then whoever wins the championship game will get to pick first. And then there will also be a second place sportsmanship, second place painting, but those will not get trophies. So again, just a brief overview. All the money split between all those awards evenly. So I think it's going to be like 30 something bucks. And then there will be 4 trophies. So best painted chooses first, then sportsmanship. Then we'll have, in terms of the trophies, we'll have the playoff game, and the first place gets to choose what's left between those two. And the second place gets whatever the last trophy is. There'll be a wooden spoon. And we just covered, there's a Army list grading criteria, which I already talked about and showed you examples. But if you want to look at that, again, it's on the sheet. If you want to submit what you're bringing to me, I can give you a grade ahead of time. So if you say, hey, I'm bringing this card, I'll be like, okay, that's a point. Like, you have all the information, easy to read, you can track it. Players can mark on it. If you then scroll to the RSVP list, you can see where you are in terms of 1 through 16. You'll notice me and Landon are 0 because we aren't factored into the who's registered first. So if you are, let's say 17 or 18 and some people drop ahead of you, you might get bumped into that top 16 that doesn't have to pay the entry fee. If you are in the top 16 that do not have to pay, and you're not going to make it, please text me through or message me so I know, and then I can add a player to that list, because I don't want to have you not show up, somebody else paid, and then I have to like go to the store and get a refund or something like that. It'd be much easier if I know all the 16 that are coming, they get paid ahead of time, and then everybody else who has to pay paid. And then at the bottom of the document, there's the TO list. Finally, we're going to be using Best Coast pairings to help run the tournament, since we have like 20, I think we're gonna end up with 22 players. So Best Coast Pairings is a free app. You can download it on Apple or Android. And it'll let you basically register for the tournament, sign in, and then I will do the pairings to the TO side. So you want the player version of the app. Through the TO version of the app, I'll hit start tournament. It'll randomly pair you guys. I will be following the list of players that are practice partners. So again, if you haven't submitted to me your practice partner, please do that so I don't pair you against them at the first round. So I'll make sure the pairings look good. And then after that, what'll happen is you will enter the score for your round, and you'll show it to your opponent, and your opponent will enter their code. So they'll just pick a code, could be anything. And they'll enter their code, and then that'll approve it so that it goes into the app, and then it'll automatically rank and place people and give table assignments. And you can also see lists through there, because you can upload lists, look at your opponent's lists. You can also track rankings throughout the tournament. You'll be able to see your pairings and what table you're on, so it'll do random table placement. So hopefully everybody gets a variety of different boards, because we will have some cool boards on the table. And yeah, if you have any questions, please message me. That's pretty much the whole overview. I think, yeah, let's show off. Everybody at the tournament will be getting, just like last time, we had a priority marker. Oh, there we go. So this one is going to have Landon's info on the good side, and then we'll have that as the evil side. So everybody will getting one of those. All right. Hopefully you have found this helpful. Again, questions, just message me or post in the Facebook or Discord. Have a good one.